Oh, hello. As soon as I start the stream, I have people coming to the house. That's always great. So I just wanted to welcome you to this week's Taiki Talk. I have this live stream every week on Tuesdays at 12 o'clock, where I talk about different different subjects regarding strategies. Actually, let me close the doors real quick. And there was an unexpected behind the scenes look at Taiki and working from home. Back to what I was saying. I have Taiki Talks every week on Tuesdays at 12 o'clock. You know that because you're here. And I discuss different topics regarding career changes, um, how to career transitions, how to change your career, and different aspects about just being career. We're going to start doing fun subjects too that aren't necessarily directly career oriented. So if there's a subject you would like me to talk about, whether it's about careers or something non-career like, but it will be fun to talk about. I'm happy to do it. I'm always happy to talk about careers, royal family. So if that's one of the things you want me to do a Taiki talk or a segment on, I'll be happy to do that. The other thing I want to encourage you to do is sign up for my website, which is, yeah, actually got it right this time. You can sign up at the website, taikicoaching.com, and you can go ahead and sign up for that, and you'll get weekly tips from me and stories and blogs. You'll be the first to know whenever I have something happen. Like the class that I have coming up. I'm very excited about that. I know I've mentioned it before. It's going to be about creating and amplifying your career narrative, how to use LinkedIn more effectively. And if you're watching this, you're most likely on LinkedIn. But if you're interested in how to do that more effectively, that's one of the things that the course will cover. I also have different guests. I'm very excited about that. We usually have at least one or two guests a month. And so you can look forward to that, and I'll let you know what we are talking about next. Well, this week we're talking about the imposter syndrome. And I know it's something that we hear about. I mean, probably everyone who is watching this is aware of what that is. Basically, it's just when you feel like you don't fit in, like you're not good enough for the position you're in. You are just waiting for them to find out about, oh gosh, she shouldn't be here. We should get rid of her. It's always this fear. And different levels. There's different, it's a span, it's a spectrum of how bad it is, and it probably fluctuates like it does for most people. But that's what we're going to talk about today. We'll talk about what it is, which I just did, how to know if you have it, and how to get over it, or at least manage it to the point where it doesn't mess with your everyday life. So you may have imposter syndrome when if you have thoughts like, maybe I don't know if I'm gonna fit, if I fit in here. If you have some self-doubt or negative talk, when you think about maybe they're going to catch on, that they know that I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants. I don't really know what I'm doing. Here's a thought. Most people don't. We are all kind of figuring this out as we go, including me, as you see. Sorry, a little late because technical difficulties, but that's one way to kind of ease that and manage that, because it's so easy to fall in that trap of not believing in yourself, and doubting your greatness. And you're great. I know you are. You also, imposter syndrome also show up as a fear of failure. You might not take considered risk. I'm not talking about crazy risk or anything. It's just considered risk where you've thought about the pros and cons. And you might be afraid to take those risks because you might fail. And if you fail, people are going to catch on to, you don't believe here. You don't, you don't belong here. Sorry, you don't belong here. Like, get out of here, whatever. So you're afraid of taking considered risks. and because you're afraid of failure. And if you fail, then people are going to find out about you. I should put find out in quotes. Another aspect or a symptom that you have some imposter syndrome is accepting praise or having a hard time accepting praise. And you deflect it. If you're a leader of some sort, and we all are, you say, "Oh, it's my team. It wasn't me. They did all the work." You downplay, you dull your shine, you dull your sparkle, as I say, because you just don't accept it. You just kind of push it away, and you think it's not me, it's my team. And yes, give people who do work and working on team credit, but also take ownership and take pride in the fact that you're a leader and you led them to that. And we all work for horrible managers and leaders, so we know how important that person is and that function and position is. So accept that credit. If you are scared of being caught, you may be a perfectionist. You may overwork to compensate for that. If I just get this right, they'll never find out about me. I'm just going to work to stand out, that kind of thing. And it's one thing to have high standards for yourself. Most of us do. If you're watching this, odds are that you do. But overworking and perfectionism isn't the way to go about things, because oftentimes it has the opposite effect. If you're a perfectionist, oftentimes that makes you procrastinate in getting things done. And that's not going to get you where you want to be. And overworking can eventually lead to burnout. Again, not where you're going for. If you feel like you don't deserve your success for any number of reasons, maybe you have really high standards and you fall short of that, but it's still a great accomplishment. Let's say you're like, this year I'm going to have $1 million in sales, but you only get 999,000. That's still a really great accomplishment. Maybe you can get that last 1,000 and maybe you're disappointed about that. That's still a big accomplishment. So if you think like, "Oh, I didn't quite make it," or "I don't really deserve it," if you feel like a fraud or a fake, that's also a symptom. The last symptom that I'm going to talk about is comparing yourself to others and finding that you're lacking. And we're probably all guilty of this. Like, "Oh, I should be at this level because all my friends or all the people I see are at that level. They're all on 40 under 40 lists," that kind of thing. Comparing yourself is a great way to demoralize yourself. There's nothing really, there's, I guess, very few things that can be accomplished or positive in comparing yourself to others. You're really only in a race against yourself. And I understand that if you work for a company, you're often compared against others, but the reality is you can't really control what other people do. What you can do is control what you do. So comparing yourself to something that you don't have control over isn't going to be helpful. So I'm going to take a break here. I'm going to tell you a little bit about one. It's very recent and something I still fight. But I've had imposter syndrome, which is quite often. So I'm a director on the Wellesley College Alumni Association Board of Directors. And when they asked me to join, and I was asked to join, I was so excited. This is awesome. And then I started doubting myself, like, why? These are incredible, accomplished women. Why put me on their board? That's weird. What do I have to add to this board? I mean, obviously I said yes, because it's a great honor and I was excited about it. And then I actually it was during the pandemic when I joined in summer of 2020. So everything was shut down. So a lot of our meetings were virtual. All of our meetings were virtual until last year. I met these women and they're even more amazing and accomplished than I thought they were. I assumed they were. And I had to fight that feeling that I didn't belong, because when it comes down to it, these smart, accomplished, amazing women, they thought I did fit in. And there was a reason for that. They saw the leadership that I had, mostly in the alum club level. and won an award for it. So yeah, I did belong. But let me tell you something. It took a really long time for me to get there. And it took me just understanding that I deserve to be there. And I kept telling myself that until I believed it. And eventually I did. And now I am on the board. I feel like I belong there. I contribute. So yeah, I go through it too. And a lot of people on the board, most people, maybe all people didn't know about that. So it's a little secret. It's no longer a secret because I just put it out there on the online. Let's talk about a little bit about how you can defeat this dragon. One of the things you can do is identify your and challenge your negative thoughts and beliefs. And one of the ways, and one of the methods that I use for clients and myself is that when I have a negative thought, such as a bigger thought, like I don't belong here, I challenge myself. Is that true? And the first thought is usually, yes, it's true. I just thought it, so it's true. But the second step is probably most important step to this is to ask yourself, what's the evidence of that? What are the facts to back that up? What are the facts to back up that you don't belong here? And facts, not feelings. As I tell people all the time, feelings aren't facts. What are the facts that you don't belong here? And then you flip it and you think, where are the facts that support the fact that I do belong here? You can start with the fact that you're there. That's that's step one. You're there. That's fact one. You are in that position, so you belong there. So that's one way of challenging that. Just ask yourself what these thoughts, what are these beliefs? Ask yourself if they're true. Ask yourself what facts, FACTS, what facts back up that negative thoughts. And 9 times out of 10, you don't have that many facts. So then you flip it and you do the same thing, but the thought is, why do I belong here? And you have facts for that. Because you're going to have facts for that. And then you have to keep telling yourself, I belong here. If you have to say it every day when you go in the morning and every night before you go to bed, every time you sit down at your desk, that's what you do because you do belong. And the other thing, and it's one of the things I preach all the time, is self-care, practicing self-care, self-compassion, and grace. I have to give myself so much grace because I think, oh my goodness, I want to do all these things, and I can't, uh, I can't get them all done. And yeah, how am I going to do all of this? And I take a step back and just give myself grace. It's okay. It's totally okay not to be perfect. Um, so another, actually, I'm just going to take a second to see if there are any questions regarding this. 1 second. Anyone has any questions? Yeah, there's lots of things that are popping up. Okay, I don't see any questions right now. Right, so back to our scheduled programming. Huh. So another way that you can combat it is to seek support and mentorship, because let me tell you something. Most women have this feeling. They feel like they don't belong there. So when you open up and you have that vulnerability, I can guarantee you that most, if not all, accomplished women have that feeling. They may still have that feeling. They may have worked on it and are managing it. But yeah, it's okay to reach out and be vulnerable and seek support and mentorship. You should be seeking mentorship and sponsorship, especially when you're working on this. The second or the last thing I'm going to talk about is celebrating your success and reframing your failures. So it's kind of the opposite, like you deflect praise. This is, yeah, I did it. Celebrate it. Celebrate however you want to do it. Buy yourself a book, get a pedicure, I don't know, a glass of wine. Do all of them. You can have a glass of wine while you get a pedicure and reading a book. You can do all that you want, but celebrate your success because you earned it and you deserve it. And when you think you failed, reframe that. I always say the only failure is when you don't learn lessons and apply those lessons. So just flip it. And like, yes, maybe you didn't meet that goal, but if you don't go back and look at, okay, what could I do better next time? Or what can I do if there's not going to be a next time? What can I do for future projects to improve? So you have to learn from, think of your failures as lessons instead, and you'll feel a lot better about yourself. And like I said, celebrate your success. One of my favorite things is, I mean, I just, now that I said, get a pedicure while drinking wine and reading a book. That sounds great. I don't know what my success is. Just making it through another day. Sometimes that's the success that you want. And that's okay. So I'm super happy that you guys are here with me today and that you decided to spend some time and getting to know me and to listen to me talk about Imposter Syndrome. I can be reached at Lauren Gordon on LinkedIn. And also want to reiterate, one, sign up for my website at taikicoaching.com. And two, look forward to me talking more about the online class because I'm really super excited about this. And I'm just kind of obsessed about LinkedIn and people crafting, amplifying their true career narratives, the one that's true to them. So I'll see you next week, next Tuesday at 12 o'clock. And if you have any questions or ideas of potential blog posts or psychic talks that you would like for me to do, send me a message. I love to hear from you. All right. Till next week. Bye.